And I am live. Ooh, scary. For the first time in a while, I'm live inside because the family is outside. So we'll see how bright it gets or how dark it gets. It shouldn't get dark in here now. So I am live and nobody's on yet, and I feel so alone. Thank you for reaching out. Thank you for joining. Welcome to Cap Advantage Tutoring. My name is Ken Finnan, and it's my job to get you past the SIE, the Series 6, Series 7, 24. Sharona, how are you? All this stuff. Feel free to join, subscribe, and like if you like what I'm doing. Little soon to ask for a like, but not too soon to ask for a little subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the little bell button so this way you know when I'm going live. I am in the middle of working on my G rules. Greg, Eddie. So Eddie, we're getting ready for the 63 very soon, right? So I am almost done with my G rule. Ginger, congratulations. That's awesome. We're going for the 7 next time, right? That's awesome. Okay. So I'm almost halfway done recording my G rules. I think I'm going to do 2. So the MSRB has all this 42 G rules. I've done about 15 or 16. I think I'm going to do 21 of them, push out a video, and then next week, boom. Hey, Christian, yeah, I saw you message before. That's awesome. Congratulations. So we have Ginger passing. We have Christian passing. Boom. And then Emmanuel said something, but I didn't see what he deleted. So we'll come back to that. Okay. Yeah, Lorenzo, you can use, I don't mean to yell. Greg, we got this. You're less than 10 days away. Lorenzo, yeah, you can use Past Perfect. It's totally fine. I don't love the thing, but the thing is the Past Perfect will over prepare you in a way. So good. Alexis, you're taking it tomorrow. How do we feel? Okay. Emmanuel, ask your question. That's fine. Totally up on board with that. That's what we're here to do, questions, not just to talk and feel good about each other. But while you're asking, remember, I'm doing it got brighter. I have a, what do you call it? A podcast that I started called Blue Collar Finance. I've only have 2 episodes out, one on common stock, one on short. I think it posts here, which I'm not a big fan of, but whatever. It's on Stitcher and all that other crap. I almost sound like I know what I'm talking about. But I'm going to be putting one out every Friday. I don't know what the next one's going to be, but if you guys have any suggestions, I think it's going to be bonds, but we'll go from there. Okay, so Manuel, answer your question. Okay. Oh, Alexis, so you're fine. Okay, so you did a 68 in the FINRA. Okay, so let me finish the one thing. Again, if you like what I'm doing, please subscribe. If you don't like what I'm doing, get off. I'm kidding. If you don't like what I'm doing, tell me what I'm doing wrong. I'll probably get all defensive about it and get mad at you, but I will probably listen. Yeah, that's it. Okay. If you need lessons, this is my only pitch I'll make. If you want lessons, please hit my website, capadvantagetutoring.com, and hit book now and find a lesson. We can have some fun. Little one-on-one action. Okay, so now, try not to be too sexy with this open. There we go. So now, Alexis, I think if you scored an 80 on the Notman, you should be fine. I mean, the FINRA exam, you got a 68, but maybe it's something was wrong or something. But the Notman one's pretty challenging enough, so you should be fine. Okay. Emmanuel, I'm waiting for the suitability question. Hit me. How much will the STC be? Here's my thing. So STC, you get the link and you can buy it in my thing and you get a discount. But the thing about STC is I think they have a good mix of the stuff you need to know. I think it's organized pretty well. And the questions are solid. But and the other reason I like to go to STC first, one, because it puts money in my pocket, which is fine. But the thing is, it's true. That's very good, Greg, that they have an instructor hotline when you can call. And I think Greg said he was on the phone with one of them for like 20 minutes. It's crazy. They're pretty nice. They're not me, but they're good. And the classes are pretty good. The classes, all classes, remember, any vendor, the classes are hit or miss. Some, thank you. But you get a good teacher, you get a bad teacher. Even with Kaplan, they have some crappy teachers. They have good ones. Past Perfect, I think, has one. Okay. Now, Christian, the STC is a good mix. The reason I like STC is because they don't sell just questions. But Kaplan, Past Perfect, and I think Training Consultants does. So if you do the STC and you need more questions, you can go to the other vendors and get them. But if you start with the other vendors, then STC isn't really an option. that's kind of the way I go. Okay. Now, Sharona, don't sweat the, you just need to know, don't worry about the 20 bond index, the 11 bond index, whatever it is. Oh, 40 minutes on. So you don't need to know all the different, the basics of the indexes, but you knew, what you do need to know is that, that there are indexes, and if you're gonna make recommendations, have a mutual fund or something like that that is invested in muni bonds. See, I do it too. One of my students does it all the time. I love the guy, but so what it is that if you're going to invest in a muni bond index or a muni bond fund or something, you have to compare it to a like-minded index. Okay, so if you are investing in munis, you have to compare it to something comparable. So that's how those indexes work. Judy, how are you? Okay. Now, Nancy, you see, those are good scores. We'll go back up. Okay. So Jonathan, okay, you taking the top off on Thursday. I took the green light exams, high 60s. Okay. You're cutting it close, right? If you have another chance, that's great. If you don't, maybe think about moving it, but you really do have a good chance of passing. So what I need, usually the green lights are significantly harder than the exam. If you going over the green light and realize that it's the math part or the really complicated or a lot of stupid reasons. That's my family, if you can hear them in the background. Allie, how are you? I haven't seen a text from you in a couple days, kid. It means you're not studying. To me, it means you're not studying. You know what that means? So now, if you're in the 68s on the green light, you're probably okay, but go over the wrong stuff. Make sure you go over the stuff you got wrong, and make sure if it's the confusing stuff, go from there. Okay, I hope that helps a little, Jonathan. You got to go for that stuff. Okay, so now, open end and close end. I'll do that. Greg, I'll hit you real quick with this one. So, Nancy. Yes, 70 to 83s on the Kaplan's weighted exams. You're in good shape. Just make sure you're not scoring that way. Make sure you're not scoring that way because you're memorizing answers. You want to make sure it's because of knowledge and that you can pick it apart and you're not recognizing stuff. But basically, 78 to 83 is a solid score in Kaplan. Eddie, same thing. If you're in the mid 70s to high 70s, you'll be fine. I know a couple people that couldn't pass the green light on the 63 and still destroyed it. So I'm not saying the 63 is easy. Alexis, I'll get to your thing in 1 second. So an ACAT, okay? Okay. ACAT is when what happens is an ACAT. Greg, you'll probably learn that in class. We'll see. You have the classes this week, so let's see if they address it. If they don't, I'll come back to that. Because advanced refunding is pre-refunding is defeasing the debt. And I've done that a couple times on this. Okay. See if the class does it. If not, we'll cover it Friday. So now, ACAT is if you want to move from one firm to another. So if you want to move from JP Morgan to Schwab, you're going to go to Schwab, fill out all your positions. They're playing with our grandson out there, and it's very distracting. But so I get crazy. So if you want to move to Schwab, what you're going to do is fill out your positions in an ACAT. They're going to send the list of positions over to JP Morgan, your old firm. They have 1 day to verify it, and then they have 3 days to send the positions over. That's what an ACAT is. You're moving from JP Morgan to Schwab, not a problem. We are going to fill out a form at Schwab, go send it over to JP Morgan. They have 1 day to verify the positions and then 3 days to deliver the stuff. Okay, Alexis, I'm going to get to your thing. VRDOs. Okay, VRDO is a quick one. A VRDO is a variable rate demand obligation. Okay, a variable rate demand obligation it's a bond with a variable rate. So as the rates go up and down, it follows. The coupon actually changes, which means the price of the bond will not go up or down. It's always around 1,000. The other reason, the DO part, so the variable rate, the VR is variable rate demand. So variable rate means it goes up and down. Hey guys, if you like what I'm saying, please hit the like button. I'm begging. So now the second part of it is the demand part means if you're selling it back, the DO means you can sell it back to the issuer for par no matter when you want. So you can basically make it mature whenever you want. But the key about a VRDO is that since you can sell it back to the issuer anytime you want, it has no interest rate risk. because interest rate risk is a risk that the price will drop when rates go up. You don't care, because if you have a 4% VRDO, rates go to 7, your bond goes to 7. They go to 8, you go to 8. Goes to 3, it goes to 3. The coupon actually changes. It's one of the few where the actual what are you going to call it? The actual coupon changes. And you can always sell it back to the issuer for 1,000, so it'll never trade below 1,000. Okay. Now, Alexis. So I'm going to say one thing first. So you're taking it. Okay. So now, first of all, I want you to watch, Alexis, if you haven't yet. I'm not going to touch the open and close end because I actually have a video, and a lot of people say it's good. It's called How to Pass the Series 6. Now, the other thing is, if you're taking the, Alexis, are you taking the SIE or the top off? If you're taking the, I'm not going to worry about it too much. Okay. So I can't see. Okay. So Alexis, if you're taking it, I think you're taking it tomorrow or very soon. If you're taking the SIE tomorrow, okay, watch my How to Pass the Series 6 video tonight. Now, let me talk about traditional versus Roth real quick. So both are IRAs. A traditional IRA versus a Roth IRA. The reason I said How to Pass the Series 6 video is because that covers open-end, closed-end, and annuities for both the SIE and the top off, 7 and the 6. So it covers everything. Now, the traditional IRA, the money goes in pre-tax, so it goes in before it's taxed. So it's deductible off your income. That means as it grows tax deferred, remember, they both grow tax deferred. So here's the Roth, here's the traditional. The money goes into the traditional, $6,000 max, untaxed. It's deductible, so you have not paid tax on it. The Roth, you put it in and you have paid tax, it's not deductible. They both grow tax deferred, which is awesome. Once you go to take the money out on the traditional, you will pay tax on everything, the entire amount. You put in 6, it grows to $100,000. You're going to pay tax on the whole $100,000, but you can't take it out before you're 59.5, and you must take it out called RMD, either 7.5 or 72, depending which rule they use. On the Roth, magic, it's the greatest thing ever invented. The money goes in after tax. It grows tax deferred, and when you turn 59.5, you can actually take the money out and pay that $94,000, which is great. But again, you have to be 59.5. But the other part is the Roth, since you can't get taxed on it, they don't care when you take it out. So there's no RMD. There's no 70.5, 72, any of that. Alexis, I hope that helped. Okay. Yeah, they will. So they're going to ask about DPPs, but it's mostly going to be basic. Oh, fine. So first of all, one thing I'm going to tell you, no test ever lists all the rule numbers. Okay. No tests ever really list all the rule numbers. They're not going to, other than 144 and 147, they're not going to say 2360, 3130, G4, G8, none of that. They give you the concept, they give you the story, and we go from there. Okay. So now, okay. So DPP. So we have limited partnerships, which are DPPs, same thing. Limited partnerships are tax shelters where the money flows through. All the partners, so if a DPP makes 10 grand and there's 5 partners, each of them will get, say, 2,000. It flows right through. The actual partnership pays no money. That's the key of these things. That's why you do this. And a limited partnership, Anna, no problem. Happy to help. Okay. So just tell people that's all I ask. All I ask. Okay. Okay. Yeah, Amanda, communications and suitability. Okay. Amanda, communications and suitability. They have to do that. Okay. No, I don't, because it's too big, but Emmanuel, I'll get to in a second. The How to Pass it, if you watch all my videos, yeah, there's a lot of them, they are helping you for the 7. That's the thing. The SIE and the 7, they're so broad that all the videos cover. But the How to Pass the Series 6, I do all the tutoring. That's most of my stuff now. So all of this How to Pass the Series 6 video helps for the mutual fund and annuities portion of the 7. Okay, back to this. So limited partnerships. Oh, remember, it's one limited partner, one general partner every time. Now, it all passes through. Then there's different levels. Oil and gas is one thing they can do. They can do oil and gas. And there's 3 levels. There's the riskiest, which is exploratory, which is wildcatting. We're just drilling. So we have a lot of depreciation costs, and it's high risk, high reward. Then we have development. Okay, development is where we take an oil well that's working and turn it into an income producing. So we take the well, cap it off, put the pumps on it, and send it out so we can start selling oil. That's the middle one. That's developmental. Then the last one is income. That's the safest. That's where we're just taking a well that's already working and already selling oil, and we're just selling oil. That has what they call depletion. Depletion is a write-off, the fact that for everything of oil that you sell, you can write off the fact that you can't sell it again. So let's say you have 100 barrels of oil and you sell 1 barrel. You now only have 99 barrels. You can write that off your taxes as a loss or a write-off. So that's what depletion is, as you're using some God-made stuff, okay? Now, what you mentioned also was the raw land stuff. So a raw land program is basically they buy a property and they're going to develop it. The key thing you have to know for a limited partnership on a real estate limited partnership that does raw land is that there's no write-offs, there's no depreciation, no depletion, because it's just a piece of raw land. There's no write-offs or anything. So there's no write-offs with that. And the reason to do a raw land is strictly for appreciation. Okay. Anna, I hope that helped. Amanda, again, like I'm saying, there's a lot on it. It's mutual funds, annuities. That's the bulk of it. Communications, suitability, customer account stuff. Those are all things that are on there. Okay. Don't worry. Okay. So the Kaplan stuff is fine. It'll get you through it. But Kaplan goes to, yes, I can. So Kaplan goes through way too heavy into the details. That's why I tell people, if you do the SIE, if you're going to do the SIE, you do the achievable link that I have there. It's like $80 and it covers it. It really does a good job. Kaplan's fine. I mean, you're going to pass. It's just too much. Yes, raw land is high risk, very high risk, because you're betting on somebody willing to be buying the property. So where the heck was it? Okay. Yeah, the 7's tough. Seven's a son of a bitch. So I would say don't sweat the details. Get the concept. So if you're studying for the SIE, you want to get the risks down. You want to get the products down, like, kind of what they are and descriptions. And you want to get the regs, like what a rep can do, the FINRA rules, like the money laundering stuff. Not super detailed. You don't need the rule numbers, but you need to know the stuff like Acta 33, Acta 34, which I have videos on. Basically, my lives are wonderful. They're twice a week, but I also have a bunch of videos on certain products. I have a common stock, I have preferred, I have suitability, I have risk. I have all those that should help you, okay? And everyone said the suitability one's great for the 7, Okay, now Eddie asked me if I can go ADV Part 2A and 2B. This is for the 63 and the 66. I agree, Kaplan is hard. I don't like them, and I do think some of the Kaplan questions are harder. Not always in a good way. Sometimes being harder is good, but sometimes they go so detailed that you're focusing on the wrong stuff. I got tons of people that fail the Kaplans and then pass the exam because we work on the right stuff and not the wrong stuff. Okay. So ADV Part 2. So Form ADV, this is for the 63 and 66 people. So this is for the next one. Okay. For most of you, you're going to do SIE and then 6 or 7 and then the 63. So the 63 here is for investment advisors need to fill out what they call a brochure or a disclosure document. They call it on the Form ADV. Part 1 is just the facts about the company, about the investment advisor. Part 2 is the disclosure stuff. So what you need to know in Part 2A is about the firm's disclosure, how we do the money, basically how we're going to have custody, all these things, okay? Okay, so they could be. I mean, I'll come back to that. So no, Fire Solutions, you should burn it. Just make it fire, throw them out. There's a reason they changed their name to NRS, because they were so bad. Fire Solutions is absolutely horrendous. I mean, a lot of these you can get past the SIE with the crap ones. But when you're doing the heavy or the 7 top off, you're going to have a tough time. Shah, how are you? So now back to this. Part 2A is how the firm, okay? That's their disclosures, their custody. Robin, how are you? Coming on, that's awesome. All the disclosures and any kind of how they do fees, if they charge different fees to different people. That's 2A. 2B is about the individual or your team. So if you work for an investment advisor, like say Morgan Stanley, 2A is about Morgan Stanley. 2B is about your team. That's the disclosures, your education, your backgrounds, stuff like that. So 2A and 2B are 2 parts of the same thing, have to be just sent out every year to the clients. If there's a material change, If not, you don't actually have to do it. But when you see a client, you have to hand it to them. 3 words. You can call it you're going to call it what I got to cover the comments a little bit. So it's either the brochure, the disclosure document, or Form ADV Part 2. Eddie, I hope that helped a little bit. Okay, so now I'm not going to go heavy into options. I'll do a little bit, but I'm not going crazy on it because that's my moneymaker. You want the real options? I spend an hour with me and you'll own every freaking option, maybe hour and a half. Okay, so now you'll wish the entire test was options. Okay, so a spread, just to recognize, I'll help that. So if you want to recognize a spread, so a straddle is 2 buys or 2 sells, buy a call, buy a put. Happy to help. Buy a call, buy a put. That's a straddle. If I buy it, that's a long straddle. I want volatility, 2 break evens. If I short a straddle, if I sell, yeah, I hate them too. So if I sell a straddle, which means sell a call and sell a put, I'm doing it for income. I have the money in my pocket. I want stability. So understand the reason I did that is to explain it. So a straddle is buy a call, buy a put, or sell a call, sell a put. So the action of buy or sell is the same. On a spread, it's buy a call, sell a call. So the option is the same. So it's 2 calls or 2 puts, and you buy one, sell the other. That's a spread. That's how you recognize. Now, I'm going to give you a little hint. If they give you premiums, we'll come. Maybe next week I'll do the next one. If they give you a premium, the one with the higher premium, not the higher strike, higher premium is the dominant option. That means that is the one that dictates whether it's bull or bear. So always first thing you do is find the dominant one with the bigger premium. If that's a buy, it's a debit spread. If that's a sell, it's a credit. That's easy. Remember that. If the dominant is a buy, it's a debit spread. If it's a credit, if it's a sell, it's a credit spread. Now, the other part of the dominant is if you find the dominant option, whatever direction that is, so say the dominant option is a buy of a call. Buy of a call is bullish. The spread is bullish. MS, the spread is bullish. If the dominant option is a buy of a put, then it's bearish. So the dominant option tells you whether it's a debit or credit and tells you bullish or bearish. Now here I have an acronym that I talked about before. Dead wives can't nag. Remember that. Good thing my wife's outside. Dead wives can't nag. Debit widen, dead wives can't nag, credit narrow. So if it's a debit, you want the premiums to get farther apart. If it's credit, you want them to get closer together. Keep that in mind. Debit spread, I want the premiums to get farther apart to make your money. If it's a credit spread, I want them to narrow to make my money. Because I sold them, I want to buy them for less. If you want deeper, please go to my website and book a lesson. Now, again, I'm not trying to sell it. I'm just saying I can't give all my magic shit away. Now, Anna, covered options. Okay, so covered, whenever you hear the word covered or uncovered, you have to know that means I'm selling an option. And guys, if I'm helping you, please hit the little hand. And anyone on here who isn't subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell button so I can feel good and make me feel like actually people are listening to what I'm saying. Nancy, happy to help. Now, covered options. If I sell an option, it's either covered or uncovered. If I'm selling an option and you see no stock position with it, no buy stock or anything, it's an uncovered option. Boom. If you sell an option and you see there's a stock position, like if you sell a call and you see that they're long stock, that's a covered call, very safe, okay? If you see sell a put and there's a short stock position, then it's a covered put. So if you see the word covered, you know that you're selling an option. If it's with a stock position, you see a stock position listed, then you know it's covered. If you don't see a stock position listed, then it's uncovered and pretty risky. I hope that helps a little bit. Okay. Now, here I'm going to tell you real quick. How did you break even? And I have a whole magic thing on the freaking options, right? Basically, I'm telling you, you own the options. Every one of my students wishes the entire test is options. But go back to this. Okay. Okay. So we'll talk about that one, Nicole. So now, if you here's the thing. So if you want to do break even, that's what I'm going to give you, and that's where I'm stopping on the options. If you have stock in an option, it is always stock plus or minus premium, not strike, stock plus or minus. The way you know, Taylor, I'm so happy. I'm so happy for you. Okay. Yeah, training, just read and do what you can. So now, you see, if I delay this, you stay on longer listening to this. So now, if you see a buy and a sell, like if you see buy stock and sell a call, you're going to subtract. So if there's the same, you add. So if you see buy stock, buy a put, Break even is stock plus premium because they're both the same. Same thing if you're short stock and sell a put, it's going to add, you're going to add the premium to the stock. But if you see a buy stock, sell a call, they're buy and sell, you're going to subtract. You're going to take the stock price and subtract the premium. That's break even. And last one, whatever the stock is, that's the direction. If you're long stock, you're always bullish. If you're short stock, you're always bearish, no matter what option you do on it. Okay. Right. So GO and revenue. So GO is normally always going to be a competitive, but they technically can do negotiated. Competitive is where all the underwriters compete, and a GO issuer, the state, chooses which underwriter they want to use. Negotiated is they'll sit in a room, they call it a bake-off sometimes, and you come in and pitch me. I'm the issuer, you're the underwriter. And in negotiated, I choose you based on how well I think you can do. So GOs are normally going to be competitive and firm commitment. Firm commitment means that the underwriter guarantees sales of the shares, or the bonds. So if I'm a GO and I get firm commitment, if you win, if you don't sell the bonds, you are absolutely going to buy them from me because you guaranteed it in the contract. Negotiated or best efforts means you're just going to do the best you can, and whatever you don't sell, you give back to me. Okay. Taylor, I'm so happy you jumped on. When are you taking it? Just keep focusing on, make sure you're reading, do the training consultants. Their questions are a little bit lighter. And again, I'm going to say this to everyone. Please, if you have not taken the FINRA exam, practice exam yet, don't use that as a method of studying. Wait till about a week or so before the exam to use it as a barometer of where you stand. Okay. So you don't want to use that as a testing tool because yes, the order may change when you take it, but it's not different questions. So you'll start memorizing questions. And then, because if you're smart enough to come on here, then you're smart enough to remember questions. And then your score goes up and it doesn't mean anything. Everyone, don't sweat the SIE too much, really. Okay. Yeah, FINRA only does the SIE. This is the first time they've ever done it. They've never done this before. I love that they did it. They do it really just to get on. Yeah. So Jasmine, I'm going to put it on here. 80 banker is not worth if you throw it out. If you throw it in the garbage truck, please apologize to the garbage men because you're ruining their lives. 80 banker is horrible. Either Kaplan or STC. STC is better than Kaplan. Okay. It's hot out. It's a heat wave. I'll be still doing this Thursday and Tuesday, but I might be in Newport the third time. Up in Newport and doing it in a bigger house. Okay. Okay, so this is good. So I'm gonna finish that one. So now, yeah, 80 banker, throw it out. Anyone who's 80 banker, remember this, throw it out, don't use it. You read it and you're gonna be dumber. I swear to God. Like if you burn it in a fire, don't let the ashes touch you. It's that bad. Okay. Hey, J Diaz, that's awesome. I'm so happy for you. Now we just got the 63 less. I'm so happy for you. Okay, now, Nancy, there's really no benefit because, okay, so let's talk about it. I'm going to finish with that. A margin account, there's three parts. Credit agreement, which is just the rules and the interest rate that you pay when you borrow the money, and a margin account. Then we have the hypothecation agreement, which is allowing them to use your shares as collateral for the loan they're giving you. Again, Jay, I'm so happy for you. The last thing is the loan consent. You're signing that. It's optional. You're signing it to let people. You're letting people borrow your shares for short selling. Okay. And I think that works. So muni banker bonds. Greg, I don't know what that is. Shoot me a text later. Ask me what that is, and I'll try to answer it in a couple of days. Thanks, guys, everyone. I will talk to you all in a couple of days.